Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. Just saw Monday mystery movie, Babes, I believe is the title. New comedy. I've seen the preview for it several times, so here it was tonight. If you haven't experienced this situation, folks, basically you pay $5, AMC, movie theaters. I think Regal does this. Cinemark's getting in on the act. You go to the movie on a Monday night, 7 o'clock. Eastern Standard Time, and you don't know what movie you're going to see, and poof, there it is. And this movie was titled Babes, comedy. You got your two friends since childhood. They're both, I would say, 30-ish, 35-ish. One's on her second child as the movie begins, the birth of her second child. And the other one is a single mom who has a one-night affair. So should you go see this movie? Should you go not? I think you should. It's a good comedy. It's good, wholesome fun. 3.25 stars. And I liked it. So what can I tell you? A lot of laughter in the audience. So I was not alone. There was some laugh out loud moments. Would you call it a quirky comedy? I guess you could. And would you call it a chick flick? I suppose you could. I mean, it's a woman film in the sense that the central characters are primarily female. However, I enjoyed the film. I mean, I thought it was good. And, so now you're saying, well, gee whiz, Mike, please say spoilers before you ruin anything. Okay, spoilers. So, there's some, I mean, this is a very, I would say, are there some things that I didn't particularly like about the film? I don't know. I mean, I like the movie for the most part, but I mean, it is a very millennially story, okay? I mean, some things that it seems our millennial generation friends and Generation Z and all these fucks that they have issue with as far as, I don't know, codependency and things like that. These are big topics in this movie. Some of the jargon, I don't think all women do this, but the two women, the two primary friends of this movie, kind of Eden and the other lady, they kind of speak, their girls speak like there's a scene you probably saw in the previews where they're both calling each other bitch back and forth. Biatch, bitch, bitch. Like it's, they're friends. So they speak without words, which, okay. And probably all of us at some point or another currently have or have had friends where you can kind of communicate telepathically almost without using fully developed sentences, which I think is the point of that scene. These two women have known each other since childhood, so they don't particularly have to have an enunciated verbiage in order to get their point across, okay? And they have their little hills and valleys, as friendships often do. People's agendas goes in different ways, and then what is friendship and what is loyalty and all that stuff. So, I mean, I thought this movie was good. Also, when the movie started, and I did not know as the movie was starting, I was proud of myself, by the way, because I did some last-minute manipulations. Apparently, these Monday mystery movies are so popular that this particular theater has now put them on 2 screens, which I think was kind of a new thing. And I guess I had booked the original auditorium, and looking at the format, looking at the seating chart, I really get into this shit. I saw that a stranger danger, was going to sit next to me. The theater that I was in, I guess, was the first one that was, booked, and it was all packed full of assholes. And then the second auditorium looked a lot less packed and also a bigger auditorium, which probably means a bigger screen. So, this afternoon, 4 or 5 hours before showtime, I switched my fucking reservation. I canceled my original reservation. I went back into the system, the AMC app, and I got a different seat in the different auditorium because I wanted more elbow space. And it all worked out fantastically. Also, my arrival time at the theater couldn't have been better. Typically, these AMC theaters give you 20 minutes of previews and shenanigans before showtime. However, I have noticed a disturbing trend with these Monday mystery movies. They don't typically have quite as many previews as a regular scheduled screening, right? So that being the case, I got to the theater. I was able to get a little exercise in, get a bite to eat, and make the scheduled showtime about 10 minutes late. I was in the auditorium. However, I still had a preview or so of enjoyment and Nicole Kidman walking around, so I saw everything that I needed. I'm not really a previews guy. I used to be like that. Like, I used to have to see all the previews. Now I see so many goddamn movies that I kind of see enough previews regardless of what I do. But the point is, I did not miss a moment of this film. And when this film began, all the opening shots of New York City, which, you know, I mean, I have mixed feelings about New York City. Nice place to visit, wouldn't want to live there, to summarize. Too many people, quite honestly. Not the quality of people, just the amount. It's just too confined for a big person like myself. But basically, the movie started and I thought, I was like, oh my God, is this like a Woody Allen comeback film? Like, Woody Allen, I mean, he's been bescooshed, he's been banished, he's been pharaohed, he's his fucking stepson or whatever the fuck, they're all out to get him. His career is over. And I'm thinking, looking at the way this movie starts, it feels all these establishing shots of the New York City in the fall, as it's the opening of the movie's Thanksgiving Day. I'm like, oh boy, this is a Woody Allen comeback film. Well, it's not. It's a female director. I think her name is Paula. I'm not sure if the same lady who starred was the director or the writer. I don't think so. It's kind of like these people who I don't know who the fuck they are, quite honestly. So I don't know if these are like the hot young voices in comedy, if they're all from, you know, comedy, wherever the fuck, in Chicago or some such thing. Like, probably people that are famous from a TV show that I don't watch. You know, like Orange is the New Black or some other show that I don't watch. But these people were all very funny. And you have kind of like the dynamic of, I don't want to say Laurel and Hardy. That's a little bit basic, you know, like the big and tall friend and the short, petite friend or some such thing. But you kind of have that dynamic. The Earth Mother friend, she's got the two kids. She's got the kind of, I don't want to say simp husband, but kind of the simp husband. You know, like that's one character in this movie, if you've seen it at this point, I would maybe tweak a little bit. I thought the husband character, like if there was ever a chance in this movie to kind of have a character who was a little less fucking understanding, and maybe just for the point of making conflict in a film, not to say that all men are assholes or whatever the fuck, but just to have like some dynamics here, because I did feel at times there was a little bit of a lack of conflict in this movie. Yes, it's a comedy, and yes, we're not talking about nuclear war. We're just talking about people getting older and having kids and all these responsibilities and yada yada, fucka. But I thought there could be a little more conflict, and maybe that husband character could have provided some of that. Maybe, I mean, I guess the biggest conflict, and like I said, spoilers, is that Claude, the father of this child, is deceased. He dies, but even like the way that they kind of announced his death was kind of interesting. These twin sex, you know, fucking disease test guys, you might have seen that in the preview. They kind of just offhandedly mentioned that our Claude there has died. And then I've talked about this in other film reviews, when like a character typically at the end of the movie is like having like that, they're looking off into the distance and they're thinking about all these wonderful and magical things or eventful things that happened in their lives, which just happen to be in the movie. And so as an audience, we get a little clue into their brain because we get to see the fucking flashback montage of things we've seen for the last hour and a half or 2 hours in the movie. And I find that to be a very trite, very simpleton way of doing things. Well, this movie does it like within the first 25 minutes. Because as soon as our heroine there, Eden, finds out that Claude is deceased, she has like these flashbacks to their one-night stand that produced this child inside her womb. And it's like, oh wow, we're already doing that? We're already having like the fucking flashback montage 25 minutes into this movie? So that would be my, you know, artistic thing I didn't particularly care for. Like I said, we could have had a little more antagonism. I mean, the two women having a fight, just about boundaries and about who's family and who's not. It was a funny scene when Eden says, like, she's ripping on the woman. She's like, I've known you twice as long as your husband. And, you know, Timothy, your 2-year-old son, I've known you longer than him. And Madeline, her new ass, like the infant child of this woman. That was a very funny thing. People in the auditorium were laughing. Like I said, there was some laugh out loud moments here. So I can't really argue with this film. I mean, for what it is, it's the millennial generation, whatever the fuck's, millennials coming of age, having children, dealing with the anguish, all that horse shit. I thought it was good. I mean, and some of these fine folks who've been making these wonderful comments, I mean, I'm not going to ignore your fucking comments, but I will say, some of you are like, well, can't you just go to the movie and enjoy it? Well, shit for brains. If you've been watching my goddamn reviews, I give most films 3 stars or more out of 5. But if I don't like something, whether it's Dune 2 or whatever the fuck, I will tell you about it. But this one, for what it is, and I tend, in full disclosure, I tend to like movies that are self-contained, that don't need a goddamn tree of sequels, okay? Or, oh, you need to jump into this fucking universe. It's a little bit, it's like, that's when you get into marketing and advertising, folks. That's when you get hooked like a fish to see all these goddamn movies. But for this, I like movies that are self-contained. Here's your 90-minute slice of life of these people in New York City. Here's their relationships. Here's their horse shit. I like that, okay? I don't need a whole fucking web of films, okay? It's too much. And it's marketing, your marks, if you just sign on for watching all these movies that just... You have to watch 20 movies to enjoy one of them. I mean, you're the fucking mark, not me, okay? So in any goddamn event, I like this film, Babes, whatever the fuck. Would I go see it again? I don't think so. But if it came on the screen, I would watch it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like several years ago, maybe 10 or 12. There was a movie called This Is 40 that was funny. That actress, Emily Mann, is that her name? Or Mann or something? She's married to the Judd Apatow guy. I didn't really like her until I saw that movie, This Is 40. But this kind of reminded me of that. So this is a good movie. So I would say go see it or don't. But I would say if you're thinking about seeing it, it is funny. If you're thinking, well, I don't think I'd like that movie, you just might. That's it. Mike Messier. Go to MikeMessier.com. Subscribe to all my things. You can stand me on social. You can buy a book, for Christ's sakes. That might be nice. Also, the new merchandise store on Spreadshirt or Spreadshop, the foreign object, lowercase, okay. So that's it.